Welcome. So we're going to have a quick look at the new Figma motion tool timeline. It's still in beta, so I imagine we can expect updates and changes. Let's get in and have a look at it. I've prepared some graphics for us to play with. Now let me just select this completed animation, as cool as it is, and take us down here to the bottom of our tool tab and select the motion beta tool set. And that's going to bring up a timeline, which is good. If you're familiar with any application animation tools, you'll be sort of comfortable with a timeline like this. If not, what we can see on the left hand side is our layers that are animated. We've got some time code and some playback options here. We've got time stretching across from left to right, and this is in milliseconds. It can be changed 2 seconds if you like. I'm going to leave it in milliseconds. 1,000 milliseconds to second, something like that. Anyway, that's 1 second, 2 seconds. We've got this zoom in and out of our timeline option. We can scroll. I'm using my trackpad to scroll along the timeline, but there's also a scrubber down the bottom if you need that. There's also a shortcut, I think, command and scroll up and down to zoom in and out. I'm holding command down. Let's zoom that out. By default, all of our animations start at 2,000 seconds, and I've adjusted this one, and I can change the length of the animation if I need. I'm going to press the space bar or this button here to play our animation. I'll just zoom out, zoom out, see what's going on. We'll play the animation. Now you see our timeline indicator moving through time there, and our animation is happening in the frame up in the project area. I have the animation set to loop, but we can set it to stop, and we can also set it to bounce. Let's play that again. So we'll bounce backwards and forwards. That's good. I mean, both of these things are good for testing and checking out our animations, but that's how they actually function in our prototypes as well. So if I have this on, it will bounce backwards and forwards. Okay, let's create some animation. We'll sort of replicate something like this. Let's see how we go. Just pressing stop on the keyboard with the spacebar. Let's go up to this file up here, or it's a frame up here. I'm going to move this down a little bit. And if I select that frame, get the right tool here. We're in the motion beta space. Select that frame, and you can see there's no animation here. So you have to actually select the frame or the object in order to bring up its timeline. So there's nothing animated in here. And to get started, we're going to use some frame animator presets. So I'm going to select this bit of text at the top here, zoom in. Let's get a bit more space here if we can. I can't move the properties panel. It's okay. But while we're over here at the properties panel, we're going to add one of these animations here. So I've got my object selected. You can see that it's selected in the layers palette there. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add an animation. And this allows us to add animators for position, scale, rotation, size, opacity, which is good. I'm going to start with position, and I'll drop that on, and you can see there's an instance of animation added to the timeline there. Our timeline is 2,000 milliseconds long. I'm going to get this position animation to slide in, but it can also be slide out. so I can use these animators to make kind of transitions into a composition and out of a composition. I'm going to make it slide in. I'm going to slide in from the top, and I'm going to just change this distance. I think I can scrub it a bit more and give it enough depth, maybe 300, to take it off the screen there. So it's going to animate from here to here, and you can see it's going to do it over this period of time, which is in fact 500 milliseconds. I can change that here, or I can also drag that in the timeline if I want it to be around about 6 seconds. 600 milliseconds, 0.6 of a second. I'll go back, open up that property panel again, and it's now 604. Let's make that perfect, 600. And we're going to ease out. We'll talk about easing in a little bit, but that allows us to change the velocity of an animation to make it to have some variance in them, in the speed. Anyway, I'm going to play that, and you will see that a little bit of text slides in. I'm going to move forward in time, right, to about this point here, 0.4 of a second. I can actually add current time there if I want to make it perfect. I'm going to select my skull animation graphic, and I'm going to add another animator, and this time I'm going to stack some animators together. So I'm going to scale it. All right, so it's going to scale in from, let's go 0. So it'll scale in from 0 over, well, this is our delay because I started it at 400, where my timeline indicator was. I'm going to make it go for 600 as well to make it match the earlier animation that we did. And let's play that. That's really good. Scaling in. But I'm also, with that frame, which I'll call skull, I'll also add another animator, which is going to be rotation. So it's going to rotate in clockwise, 180, and we'll make it go for the full 6 seconds. Did you see there that it will snap to other elements? And also if I hold shift down on the keyboard, it will snap my timeline indicator to kind of working areas. Anyway, let's play that. Ripper. So I've stacked that animation, those animators together, and it's kind of coming together. Let's add one more animation for this bit of text. I'm gonna try something different. We'll just make it size, and it'll resize in, and we'll make the size 400. So that doesn't appear to be working. Maybe size is not a good one for us. I'm undoing that. I wonder what happened there. We'll just go with opacity, see how that works. And that's looking fine for me. We'll troubleshoot that size down the track. The other thing I wanted to show you about animators here is there's a bunch more animation recipes that are pre-saved as kind of styles, which is kind of cool. We can have the ability to add animation styles. I'm not sure of the terminology, but preset our own preset animations, which is good for like adding to that idea of design systems. If we've got a particular kind of animation characteristic that is part of our identity or visual system, we can save it and reuse it across our libraries and teams. Anyway, I'm going to transition these graphics out of the comp, and I'm going to use these animators here under this kind of style icon, And if I scroll through here, I've got a whole bunch of pre-made ones. There's some basic, which we've played with. But there's also this kind of transition in. There's these looping ones, and then there's these exit ones. Let's transition our project or our animation out. Do a bit of a kind of an outro by selecting elements and just adding one of these exit. I'm just going to randomly choose something, and it's going to kind of wobble its way out, which is pretty good. Now that has gone beyond the length of my project, so I'm going to extend that project. We'll maybe make it 5 seconds long. Cool. So there's quite a bit of animation stacked into that preset there. The skull, let's animate the skull out from about here. We'll use another one of those pre-saved. Exit, let's go with evaporate, deflate, poof. That looks good. Ripper. So you can see without too much, we can get some rather interesting animation happening. We'll just go with flick here. And this is our completed animation, transitions in and then transitions out, looping around. It's our first look at the motion workspace.